Oh, one sec.
You lied to me.
We did start the stream. Hey everybody, welcome back to Post Call Gaming Streaming. I'm Dax, and tonight we're going to be streaming some Octopath Traveler, which we haven't done in a really long time. We're trying a little bit of an audio solution again tonight, so there might be a couple issues at the start, but hopefully if you're catching us on the YouTube archive and everything is working and you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe buttons below to see all of our latest streams and videos. I am joined tonight by my great friend and perpetual co-host, Aero.
Hey. I am going to delay myself for a little bit because I'm going to check the audio.
Perfect. How you doing, Aero?
I'm doing all right. Dax, let's get you to keep talking for a little bit.
Sure, no worries. So it's been a while since we played Octopath Traveler. This is one of the few games that we've been playing on the stream that's a little bit out of sync with the rest of in terms of the fact that it's not a full playthrough. We're picking this game up from my save pretty much halfway through. Actually, we're near the end of the game, to be completely honest. So if you're catching this video and you're just trying to watch just to get a sense of the gameplay, it's gonna be a lot of spoilers because we're basically at the end of the game. So avoid if you don't want to be spoiled.
Oh, that's well, that's unfortunate for me. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say that Dax, you are way softer than I am.
Am I way softer?
On the stream?
Really? That usually doesn't happen. Can you still hear me?
You sound like you're half of my voice.
Let me max out my volume here. Testing.
The music is loud. Walt says the music is loud.
Walt says the music is loud, eh? Okay, let's quickly see.
I think just listening to my voice compared to your voice, my voice sounds really loud, but I sort of cranked up my volume at the moment.
Okay, I have boosted my voice to give myself a little bit of gain. Testing, 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 testing. Hey Waltz, how do we sound?
Okay, I think we're similar on par now.
We're on par? Trying to load the chat on my own display here.
Close. I feel like I'm still a tiny bit louder, but we are pretty good.
It's really interesting because the
you can always turn me down.
No, definitely not doing that. It's been weird because the chat now doesn't work as well. There used to be like a chat web version that we could check for restream, which is where we do a lot of our streaming, but for some reason it hasn't been working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log on to Twitch directly and check the dashboard because I can see the chat. Should be able to see the dash and check the chat. Alright, dismissal. Okay, let's get back to business. Hopefully it's a little bit better.
Good. The music is also really soft now.
Oh, we're having interesting balancing issues. This is one of those challenges because part of the problem is it's hard for me to be able to... I can't actually hear the game audio. For some reason, my capture card doesn't let me stream audio from the game into my headphones, despite the fact that it's coming through on a capture card. So you would think that it would, but for some reason it doesn't. So, what do you know about Octopath Traveler?
It's good. I can always speak a little softer today.
What do you know about Octopath Traveler?
I don't know much about Octopath Traveler at all.
Have you heard anything about it whatsoever?
Hi there.
I heard you're playing it.
Oh! Okay, so let's do a little bit of an intro, because... So Octopath Traveler is a JRPG produced by Square-Enix, actually. Well, to be fair, it's published by Square-Enix. It was developed by Acquire Software. Basically, the idea is they wanted to recreate kind of the classic JRPGs of old. And so they created this graphical style that you're seeing on display here, which they call 2.5 they call it HD, 2D HD. I believe that's the term that they've used to describe this game. Yeah, and it's basically the name of the game is Octopath Traveler because you play 8 different travelers who all have 8 different storylines across the same world map. And the idea is that you try to progress all of their stories. They don't really interconnect. They do at the very, very end of the game, but for most of the game, they actually don't interconnect. And a lot of the reason why people, or at least why I love this game, especially compared to something like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is that it's pretty much a classic JRPG packaged into like a fun modern battle system, which we'll hopefully get to see. Waltz just said, damn, look at those water graphics.
I'm pretty sure that's why he likes the game.
So the other neat thing that you're seeing me do right now is all 8 of your characters, we've got 4 of them right now, have what are called unique path actions. So you see how like whenever I'm like approaching these people, there's like 4 symbols that pop up.
Yeah.
So different characters have different path actions. I locked myself into Alfin, who is the apothecary, and his main path action through most of my playthrough is this one called Inquire, which lets me read the thoughts of different NPCs that I run across. I'm just gonna quickly do a gear check here.
Trampling on people's privacy.
You kind of need to do it in order to be able to grab the latest upgrades, but I'm just gonna quickly check and see. So gear, you know, leveling, keeping track of your accessories, all of that is like super important parts of the game. It's just like a traditional JRPG. PW, if he was, yeah, go ahead.
Now I do have one big question.
Yep.
If anyone's been catching our Dragon Quest 11 stream, can you buy revival items?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you definitely can buy revival items in this game. And if PW was here, he would joke about it because for everyone who's been on the internet and kind of excited about the new DLC that got released for Xenoblade Chronicles Due Torna, the Golden Country, he will tell you I vehemently did not like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And if anybody is kind of checking out our stream and saying like, hey, you know, I'm looking for a JRPG either on Switch or in general, what would you recommend? And 100% I would say get Octopath Traveler. This game needs the support. This game, you know, really I think deserves a lot of the recognition. It hasn't unfortunately been doing well on sales since its first month, and I think that's really tragic. I think the game really deserves more attention and care than it's gotten so far.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe you can bring it to the mainstream.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that someone's gonna catch wind of this game and hopefully decide to pick it up, because it's honestly a fantastic game. It's just there's a lot of room for improvement, but that just makes me more excited because there's already rumors that a sequel is coming.
Oh, despite the poor sales?
So it actually had a barnstormer first month, and apparently it just kind of fell off from there.
I see.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So we're on the very last chapter 4. So all the characters in this game have 4 chapters of plot. We're on the last one for the girl in the second slot of our party. Her name's Tressa. And basically our plot here is she is a merchant. Hello. She grew up in a merchant family, and she kind of over the course of the game heard about this grand merchant's bazaar where people come and sell really expensive things, and she's just learned that there's a prize for the merchant who is able to sell to this richest guy in the port the most wonderful item that he's ever seen for his daughter. We've met the daughter. She's sickly, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just quickly just acquiring some information while I'm doing this. Actually, it's a good chance to do a little bit of handover. We finally got some updated news topics, and for our people who are watching, we're actually trying something a little different today. We're actually going to be recording, finally for once, the audio from our stream as a separate podcast, because that's something we've wanted to do. So by the time you're listening to this on iTunes, you're probably going to hear a lot of different audio jingles and whatnot, but just to start off, we're officially going to do a little bit of handover. We're going to discuss some of the recent video game news that have come out. Here, I'm going to start off with our first story. Anybody who grew up in the 90s is very familiar with Toys R Us, and they've actually just come out with a statement that they are now no longer going to be bankrupt after initially filing for bankruptcy in September 2017. It's interesting because the Wall Street Journal actually pitched this company as having left an $11 billion hole in the toy industry, which is pretty impressive. And so apparently they're just going to try to rebrand the store and come back.
So, do you know what exactly is happening? Is it being absorbed by another sort of conglomerate, or is it all we know right now is that they have rescinded the bankruptcy statement?
So interestingly, it really is just they're rescinding the statement. They're no longer putting the company up for auction.
Okay. Interesting.
It's quite... I remember hearing about the bankruptcy like a year ago, and we were all... I mean, growing up where we did, it was... But Toys R Us was kind of like not a significant, but like a known presence in our area.
Well, but this was... I thought the bankruptcy statement and the closing of a lot of the Toys R Us stores was primarily US based.
That's true, but now it seems like the U.S. brand is recovering. So
yeah, I guess what I mean is like it had a much smaller impact on us, because I don't know if Dax wants anyone to know.
We're Canadian. Yeah, I think we've established many times in the past in the stream that we're Canadian. So, Aero, what do you have any special memories belonging to Toys R Us? Like, is this a significant toy store brand for you with this $11 billion hole that's been left?
Well, I mean, us in Canada, whenever we left our igloos to go to Toys R Us, jumping onto our dog sleds. No, it's I remember going in there, and I remember like getting some stuff here and there, but I wasn't really big on going to Toys R Us. Like, it's a great place. I used to go there to look at all like the crazy Lego stuff that they have. I really like Legos. But outside of that, I guess when I first heard the news that they were going under, at least with the US branch, the only thing I could think was, man, I wonder if I can go there for some cheap Lego. Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad.
I think that's fair. I think everyone's memories of Toys R Us is going in to play with the toys, like those big cars and stuff.
Okay, so Walt has something to add to this. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, let me just pull up the dashboard again for a sec. Lenders own the rights and other stuff. The bankrupt retailer's debtors aim to open a new Toys R Us and Babies R Us branding company that will maintain the existing global license agreements and then invest and develop new retail shops. Oh, hey, so I guess they're basically just taking the name and running with it.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, I was seeing that. So Waltz just said, I bought my first PC game at Toys R Us on a floppy disk. Which game was that, Waltz? Yeah, I was curious. Does Waltz remember what game that is? Some tank game.
To be fair, I bought my first Pokemon game, Pokemon Blue version, at a Toys R Us. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember buying a lot of games at Toys R Us. Like, to me, it's not like, you know, obviously EB Games is our equivalent to GameStop up here, and that's probably where I remember making most of my purchases, but Toys R Us was a special place.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it didn't really make a big difference because the video game industry and the pricing for video games, especially with these sort of from the major retailers, are all pretty much the same across the board, right?
Oh yeah, the MRSP is pretty much like no matter where you go, you're pretty much locked, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's more of a just picking your brand favorites of which stores you want to support.
So actually, now that you've brought that up, Aero, it's actually a good time to discuss, like, what is the state, do you think, of buying physical games in this day and age? Like, especially now with everyone having their own digital storefronts, is there still room for purchasing physical games outside of, like, the collector's editions and all the bonuses you can get with stuff like that?
I mean, I feel like even the collector's editions are getting very questionable in terms of value and what it's really worth. Just because with some of them, it's like you're paying an extra $30 premium to get maybe like an extra soundtrack that's digital and like maybe like a steelbook cover case or something like that. And so it definitely doesn't feel as good as it used to. And you know, there's no incentives anymore for sort of pre-ordering, and there's really no reason to pre-order a lot of games now, which is kind of disappointing. It used to be such a big thing. I remember I used to go to like EB Games and check out what games are coming out and like what's on the list, and like if you want to pre-order something. But I guess that's a whole different issue. For a long time, I have my DS. I still play it, and for a long time I was very adamant on getting physical games. I was like, I want physical games. I want the game cartridges. They're cool. I'll carry them around. And then once I started traveling with my DS, I was like, I really wish these were all digital and I could just load up my games without having to keep switching the cartridges.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. So you mentioned like traveling around. Was there any other like impetus to when you made that decision of like, I wish stuff was more digital?
You know what? Not really. I'm usually the type of gamer that likes to just play one game and focus on one game, and once I beat it, I'll play a different game. So I don't really have the urge to play like a whole bunch of different ones in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it was never an issue of not having enough games, but it's more so when I'm away and now I have to carry all these little cartridges with me, I have to find a place to put it, and then sometimes I might, on the go, I might leave most of my luggage somewhere and like go somewhere else for a few days, and then suddenly I'm like, I wish I had my other game. I want to play Mario Kart. I want to play something else.
Yeah.
So that's when it really sort of hits home that I really wanted something. But you sort of start, without the physical aspect of it, you also lose that cool, like, you know how people used to have walls of PS2, Xbox games, and things like that? I had this huge library. And it was cool to physically see a library of games. And now you don't see that anymore. And it's a little disappointing.
I know what you mean. I remember being a kid and there was like a sense of satisfaction whenever you had a quote-unquote library. Like you would line stuff up and you would say like, oh, these are all my games. Like it's such like a, it's like, you know, it's like such a beautiful collection kind of thing. And now it's kind of more, especially I think as we got older and we moved out or we started needing to be more mindful of our space, it's consistently, oh man, like I don't have room for all these games. And then I guess for me it's interesting. I have a different problem from you. I tend to be the type of person where it's like if I get stuck on a game, I need to quickly play something else. I need to like break that mental block. And so having games on digital, to me, the big benefit is like, oh, I get to, you know, jump from game to game. If I'm stuck here, I'll play something else and then I'll go back and try again.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
And I think when I still own consoles and when I still playing on things like a PlayStation or something that's physical, like one of those consoles, like I would get physical games and it felt very normal. But the moment I started playing more Steam, the moment I started accumulating a Steam library, that's when it was all digital. Digital's great. We're just gonna go all digital.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not even portable. It's just I don't want to have to change CDs. I don't want to have to do all this kind of stuff if I ever play a different game on my computer. So
right.
That's probably one of the big things too.
I agree. It's just one of those things where you. Well, I guess the interesting kind of caveat to all of this is I actually have gone back to being more physical in terms of like buying my games physically. But a big part of that is because as I got older, I've now become more comfortable with reselling my games.
That's true.
Whereas as a kid, it was like unimaginable. Like, no, I'll never trade my games back in, you know? They're my games, I'll never know if I want to go back. And now it's like, this game sucks, I'm trading it in, I get some money back and go on to the next one.
I guess as you get older, you sort of refine your taste, right? You know what you like, what you dislike, and you can immediately say, wow, I am selling Xenoblade.
Which is exactly what I did. I sold that and got so much money back for Monster Hunter World, which was totally worth it.
So I guess that's the big thing with physical versus digital games. There's still a resale value inherent to the physical game versus the digital one. And it's probably not a topic that we'll ever really touch on too much, but it then gets to the same idea of collectibles and whether it should stay physical or or some of the things that are moving to digital. I'm talking about sort of like different types of card games online. There's like
Magic,
the Gathering,
Pokemon,
which is a physical card game, but now it's moving on to an online system where you still pay, but you pay a little less to get a card collection online. At that point, you're seeing, well, physical cards have an inherent value to them, that will always be there if I have a physical copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
But a digital copy, something could happen and I could no longer have that. If I get bored and I lose my account, that money's gone. But if you know, have your Magic cards wedged in between a book somewhere because you use it for a bookmark, and you find that it's a Black Lotus, yeah, you could be in a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's true. I agree. But I mean, also, I guess the interesting thing in that discussion is like, how much do you think that transition has been motivated by stuff like Hearthstone, which has never had a physical, you know, representation of its cards? At least I think it's never had any physical representation.
No. If they are, it's been fan creations, but there's no actual physical representation. And it's definitely really weird because it's one of the few games that are very successful that is a game that people will dump money into.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they don't get anything out of other than enjoyment.
Exactly.
Enjoyment, that's all they get out of it.
Yeah, and even like the tournaments and stuff, like all you really win from the tournaments is more digital cards, right?
No. Like, the prizing for that stuff is generally money.
Oh.
From what I understand.
Okay.
There's not a lot of like actual digital product, which is sort of a good thing. You don't necessarily want more product if you already have most of the stuff. But it's a different conversation for a different day, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I confess to being super ignorant about the Hearthstone scene.
Yeah, it's no problem. I follow it quite a bit, but I'm not playing at a professional level or at a very high level either, so it's something we can discuss some other time.
All right, moving on. We got two more stories. One I think is fun to talk about, maybe not as relevant to the two of us, because neither of us were particularly attached to this game when it first came out or through time. Actually, you may have been, Arrow, but I just never talked to you about it. So, Minecraft recently came out with its monthly player figures. If you haven't already seen it on our little shared document, how many people do you think still play Minecraft on a monthly basis, Arrow?
I don't know. I
hazard a guess.
Onto the hype.
Hazard a guess.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Given the fact that you're even bringing this up, I'm gonna say it's in the millions.
Okay, how many millions?
5?
So I'm going to give you another really popular game right now. I'll give you the number that's currently playing Fortnite, which is super popular. Not only is it super popular, it's across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
They currently have 78.3 million players per month. So if giving you that number and knowing that Minecraft has been out for longer, but is also out on multiple platforms, where would you say Minecraft probably sits relative to Fortnite?
See, the rational person in me wants to say less than that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The person in me that thinks you're trying to trick me would probably say it's gonna be more.
Right. So give me a number. So I'm telling you, Fortnite right now, 78.3 million players average monthly.
I don't know. I'm gonna say like 10, 20.
So, according to Microsoft, who, as you guys might recall, now owns Minecraft, which is crazy, they still currently have 91 million monthly active players.
I mean, some of that's gotta be inflated, right?
I don't even know how that could be inflated. Like it does specifically state active, which means it's not like just accounts that are sitting. Like I have a Minecraft account from when I bought the game.
Active is relative. It could be relative.
I mean, it's certainly more impressive. Like whenever you look at MMORPGs that report their numbers, there tends to be like they usually are reporting the number of service accounts that are kind of in play. But this is the first time I've seen the word active like specifically mentioned. Like 14. Ironically, nobody has seen me play 14 on the stream yet, but 14 is probably my favorite living game, and I think like 14 at best averages maybe 100k players actively a month.
So did the report describe how they took these statistics?
They don't. I have to admit, it is a bit of a PR piece.
That could be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Could be a little sketchy. I think one of the big things for me, it's like, you don't, I don't know how it quantifies in terms of Minecraft, but like, don't people have like different servers and different private things? Like,
so
is that a thing that happens?
Walt's actually just commented in the chat. He was just saying Minecraft is crazy now. So many mods actually take it to a whole different genre. So maybe this is like a Gary's Mod situation where it's just people are, or like a Skyrim situation, people are just modifying it to the point at which it's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a game that can come back like that, that would be the game.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Walt's saying you can go to space, build rockets, so it's Kerbal Space Program.
Well, I'm thinking more like a community-driven No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Like a voxel-based.
Where instead of being procedurally generated, it's community generated.
Yeah. It's a good point. So I mean, Aaron, I'm gonna toss this back to you, and Walt, if you want to comment on chat, where do you feel like the appeal of Minecraft is right now as a quote-unquote older gamer? Like, we're obviously now entering into the age bracket that is kind of novel for games. Like, we're no longer the prime market anymore. Do you think Minecraft still has appeal for a gaming audience that, you know, trends on slightly on the older side?
Is this for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was coughing, so I didn't know what you were saying.
I was just saying, like, in terms of Minecraft, I would say Minecraft, especially when you look at the footage of, like, Minecon and the different, like, you know, public stuff that's presented for Minecraft, I would say Minecraft is usually for a younger, you know, demographic. And I think, knowing both of our ages, we're both kind of starting to slip into the age group that gaming is slowly starting to care less about.
I think it comes down to which type of a gamer you are, because Minecraft, I don't know, it's one of those things where Minecraft is essentially a sandbox game, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's really as much as you do with it and how far you want to take it. So it's like playing a D&D campaign, right, where it could be very, very streamlined and you're very, very direct in exactly what you're doing, or it could be so open and free form that you guys will play multiple sessions and you won't even progress your actual main storyline by like 1%.
That's like the classic D&D issue.
Yeah, and I feel like that's sort of like where, that's probably my guess is where Minecraft sort of sits, right? Because it has the capacity to cater to every audience, given that there is the right mod for it. So I think you have to be the gamer that's willing to seek out these sort of things and try to bring that into your space, and then you can really, really enjoy what Minecraft truly is.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. So the other half to this news story is Microsoft is actually, they basically asked Microsoft, you know, given the amount of active players you have per month, would you be interested in creating Minecraft 2? To which Xbox boss Phil Spencer pretty much said, you know, it's not a game that, it doesn't make sense to split the player base between Minecraft and Minecraft 2, but they are developing what they're calling like sideline content or like sidequill content. So they recently just announced Minecraft Dungeons, which apparently is going to be a Diablo-style Minecraft dungeon crawler, which is scheduled to come out for 2019. Do you foresee success with like these modifications of the Minecraft formula?
So before I go on, I think we should acknowledge what Waltz was saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. So Waltz has just said, you know, with respect to Minecraft, he said, I'd play the hell out of it if you could get a couple of good friends playing it together. It's a relaxing game just to play around and build stuff. Can't handle the action genre, in which he said too old. I mean,
my concern.
Go ahead, Aero.
Sorry, I think Waltz has a very good point. I think there's a lot of very good games out there. Minecraft probably will be one of them, where people just want to get together, have fun, relax, do some random stuff, and they don't really want to get into things that are too intensive. Sometimes you come home, you just want to wind down. You don't want to play anything that's like very stimulating, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So moving back to your question, if I think the mods will work, I think the issue is it basically trying to reskin a like Diablo style game but with Minecraft aesthetics?
So there's only been one trailer which I have watched for this Minecraft Dungeons, but it's actually not very clear what the gameplay loop is going to be. It just shows you Minecraft Steve and his buddies dressed up in armor and wielding weapons like daggers and swords and stuff. So it's a little bit interesting because it's actually not fantastically clear what the gameplay loop will be. Like, will you pick up loot or do you have to forge your armor? So it's gonna be it's a bit of a mystery till they show more.
I think for me, it's gonna be hard to answer, and it'll probably come down to whether the game is sort of a cash grab to sort of capitalize on the mods that are out there, and they're just creating this one very specific mod that'll have the Minecraft aesthetics and just be sort of a dungeon diving, like roguelike type of game where you're just getting loot, or whether it's going to be a type of game that's going to be in the vein of the Lego series games, where they took, like, you know, Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Batman, Lego superheroes, and they sort of like took these games that were out there and took these themes and IPs that are out there and put their own twist on it. And like the cool thing about the Lego is that you could build things, dismantle things, and like change things around, and it wouldn't be a normal concept in any of like the games that are specifically Star Wars, for example.
So I guess my only kind of sense, or not sense, my only concern with this kind of formula is I feel like I don't know if the audience would go for it because, like you said, there is a there's already precedent for mods that exist. Now, granted, obviously Microsoft has access to the source code, so they can do a lot more to mod the game to make it a different gameplay style. But it's like the Skyrim problem. Like, you already have a ton of free mods.
It's true. Waltz does bring up a good point. He's saying don't forget that there's a Telltale Minecraft game already.
That's a good point, yeah.
Could be story driven. But I don't know. I feel like there is a group of players, for example, that play Skyrim that don't really want to have to deal with doing mods. And so if you told them that we are re-releasing Skyrim 4K HD or whatever, or like we are like making everything look amazing, people will still buy it. Think of how many Skyrim games they've announced since the release of Skyrim.
I already probably own like all of those.
So there's definitely a demographic to cater to if there is a demand for something like that. And even something as simple as just upgrading the graphics, something as simple as adding a story, adding like new arcs and stuff that are really meaningful could be very interesting, and people definitely buy into it, I think.
That's a good point. It's just, I don't know, I have to admit, I think I'm a little bit more skeptical. I feel like there's more potential for this to be swept aside. Like, I feel like the core Minecraft. So here's the thing. It's like Waltz was pointing out, like, Minecraft is a game that you would love to play with a group of people because it's relaxing and it's chill. You build, you just have fun. I don't know if tacking on an action RPG kind of like skin, I guess, over that formula is necessarily going to be successful.
And that's why it's such a tricky path to walk down, right? Because you're essentially trying to implement this new thing, but keep the spirit of the game, because you're using that IP. So you're trying to keep the spirit of the original IP, which is supposed to be this freeform, sandbox, like do whatever you want, play however you want type of a game, but then you're also adding this element of we want to direct you into doing something very specific.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have to look at how they implement it. It just sounds more likely than not that it will fail. But I wouldn't count it out
just yet. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's round it out. We got one more story left to go for handover before we talk a little bit about Morning Report.
These ninja guys are fighting.
These ninja guys are fighting.
Caped rear-wielding sword dudes.
So I've noticed on our team Discord that Arrow's been playing a game that I want to talk to him about, and I don't know how long he's been playing it. So I thought it would be a good morning report. But just to round out our last segment on handover, I just wanted to quickly go over Rock Paper Shotgun. Great website, love it for PC gaming. Recently came out with a list of what they are calling the 25 best multiplayer games on PC. I thought it would be super fun to just go over this list as two of us, and Walt, if you want to chime in, I think it'd be great as well. What they're saying.
Where's this list again?
It's on Rock Paper Shotgun. I'm gonna read it out.
Oh, okay.
So it's 25 games. I'm going to quickly read out in order from lowest on the list to highest on the list. So in order, the games that they are listing as the best co-op PC games of all time. So obviously, yeah, no Halo, you know, no, not a lot of other games that we might maybe consider as being fantastic on a console basis. Purely PC. Number 25, Onward. Number 24, Mount Your Friends. Number 23, Sports Friends. Number 22, Mortal Kombat 10. Number 21, Northgard. Number 20, Regular Human Basketball. 19, Neptune's Pride. Number 18, For Honor. Number 17, Quake Champions. Number 16, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Number 15, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Number 14, Duelist. Number 13, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Number 12, StarCraft 2. Number 11, Battlefield 1. Number 10, Garry's Mod. Number 9, Battlerite. Number 8, Nidhogg. Number 7, Chivalry, Medieval Warfare. Number 6, Rocket League. Number 5, Overwatch. Number 4, Devil Daggers. Number 3, Towerfall Ascension. Number 2, Team Fortress 2. And number 1, drumroll please, Dota 2! So, I mean, obviously there's a lot of games on here, some that I think the two of us have heard of, some games that I personally have never heard of. I don't know if you've heard of all the games on the list.
The last page has the full list.
Yeah.
I was clicking to the page just trying to follow you. I was like, you're going so fast, man.
It's on our document. Did I forget to post our little Google Doc thing?
No, I just didn't look.
Okay. So, I mean, a couple of these games on here I think should be on this list. Like, Mortal Kombat 10, sure. Quake Champions, sure. I'm surprised that... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go first.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is on here, but not Fortnite?
I'm confused. There's a few things that are confusing me, which is when they say multiplayer, does that mean you're playing with a lot of other people?
No, not massively multiplayer.
Or in teams.
I think it's as long as you're playing with other people. Because I mean, Mortal Kombat 10, it's really just 2 people.
Yeah, that's why I was like, some of these games just look like one-on-one type of games.
Yeah, I think it's as long.
I'm very confused.
I think it's as long as it's you're playing with other people. I think that satisfies the definition.
Okay, this is definitely not how I would have categorized multiplayer. I think that's why it was very confusing for me.
I mean, looking at this list, there's like a couple of games I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Like, I get why that's there.
So, do we want to start from the bottom, like from 25 all the way to 1?
No. Let's start from 10, because I think there's a lot of games. I mean, unless there's any particular games you want to talk about between 25 and 10.
No, I don't know. Like, there's a couple of games. There's quite a few games here that I'm not very familiar with.
Yeah, same. I think For Honor on 18 surprises me.
Yeah, I think that definitely does, but I've never played it, so I don't know. I've seen streamers play it.
It was free on Steam, and I was telling you to get it.
Yeah, I know. I think I missed it during that time.
I mean, For Honor, Mortal Kombat 10, I don't think either of us are particularly big fighting game fans.
So, the thing for me here is, what is this based on? Because is this based on, like, a... Sort of like, is this Matt Cox, the staff writer's, like, his list? Is it a list from, like, a community? Is it, like, the best reviewed type of games?
I think this is, like, Rock, Paper, Shotgun's collective, like, we as a group have decided on this list.
I guess because my question here ends up being, like, because it seems like they were trying to be representative in a way.
Of like different genres and stuff?
Yes. It looks like it.
I think overall it's meant to be like Rock, Paper, Shotgun says if you want to play a game with other people, like this is the list. And maybe subconsciously there's been some like, oh, let's try to include, you know, every genre to have some... I mean, there are some genres that are clearly missing. Like there's no racing game on that list.
Yes.
There's no like board game equivalent on that list.
Wow, that's really there's also play on PC, but wow, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
There's
no racing game.
There's racing games on PC. There's like, I mean, there's Grid. There's Grid for sure.
To be fair, like, there's a bunch of Mario games that would make my best multiplayer list.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's just,
But that's like not on PC console.
I mean, there's no board game equivalent. Like, I mean, none of the Jackbox games are on there, which I think are fantastic PC multiplayer.
Oh
games.
yeah, those are great multiplayer games.
Right? Like, there's clearly some. I don't think it's completely correct to say that all of the genres are represented. There's obviously like a couple here that are, I would say, missing, but. Yeah, there's like a couple games on this list where I'm like, oh, okay. And overall, I think it's meant to be a definitive, like, rock, paper, shotgun says these are the games you need to play on PC to have fun with other people.
Yeah. I think, and I guess it depends on, like, are they looking at certain games that have a long, that has had a long lifespan that sort of, has survived sort of like that initial hype?
Yeah, possibly.
Through.
I mean, TF2 is there.
Well, for example, like one of the things that I was looking at, and I'm like, Dragon Ball Fighter is literally like the
just
hype.
Came out, yeah.
In terms of like fighting games, right? It's like the hype, and everyone is having a great time with it. It's developed by a great studio, one of my favorites, Artworks, like because they make Guilty Gear, and I love Guilty Gear. Like I played that in high school growing up. So that's like one of those games that I'd be like, oh yeah, this is really weird.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's also I always have had a soft spot for games like MapleStory, just because it's unique in and of itself. I think.
Oh, there's many words I would use to describe MapleStory, my friend, and unique is not one of them.
Okay, think of it this way though, right? Like, how many equivalent is there of that similar art style, of the similar type of game, right? And it still has an audience, like it doesn't. I think Steam just released MapleStory 2.
There's a MapleStory 2?
It's weird. It's like 3D. It's weird.
Oh. Waltz just brought up a good point, by the way. He just said Dota 2, but no League of Legends.
That was the big thing. That was the big thing for me. There is Dota 2 and no League of Legends. Now, Dota 2 is a little more appealing to... I think it's not appealing, but it's a little more conducive for the multiplayer game, because the thing is, League of Legends is gated by purchasing champions. So you only have a small pool when you start playing, and there's a rotating free pool over the course of a week.
I thought you eventually earn, like, if you play enough, you eventually
in League of Legends?
Yeah.
So how it works is you start off with a very small pool of heroes that you have that are free, that you can always use.
Yeah.
And there's a rotating pool that will rotate every week.
Right.
As you play games, you will win basically the in-game currency, which you can use to try to buy heroes.
Right.
Or champions. But champions new champions are expensive. So it's going to take you a lot of games before you can get enough to purchase a new champion. So it's not the best.
So, but when you say a lot of games, like I mean, LoL and Dota 2 are meant to be lifestyle games, right? You're supposed to play them effectively for a very long time, game after game after game. So, I mean, isn't that it? Like, at the end of the day, I guess I see what your point is, though, because you're saying.
Well, I mean, I played. Let's say I played when I was playing. I probably played maybe. How long did I play? Maybe 4 to 5 hours a day. Like, because I was playing with friends and whatnot, and sometimes less, sometimes more. But on average, including the the weekends where you sort of just binge and you play a lot with your friends, let's say 4 to 5 hours a day. During that time frame that I played, I probably played for a good 2 years or 3 probably. I still didn't have the entire champion pool.
How many were you able to collect?
I probably had like half of them.
I mean, that's not bad. I can understand in the meta sense. Yes, it's terrible.
Not bad, but at the same time, it hurts when you can't choose the character you want to use. So it kind of sucks. But
I mean, so wait. So how does Dota 2 not suffer from the same problem? Is it because all the heroes are like? What is the Dota 2?
If I recall correctly, Dota 2 does have all the heroes available to you
at the start. Full stop.
Yes.
So where do they make their money from?
Skins, I believe.
And do they? I guess they're making a lot of money because clearly they're still doing it, and TI2 is still a huge thing, or TI whatever, whatever TI we're up to now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, aesthetics in these types of games make a lot of money.
I mean, I believe it. It's just, I guess, for me,
And there's also a couple of really cool game modes that there's a couple of great game modes that was carried on from the original Dota that is in Dota 2 that at least when I left LoL that wasn't in LoL. So that's also really nice. Like there's cool different ways of playing the game. You're still playing the same game, but it's more like it limits your hero selection pool. It doesn't let you do certain things and whatnot. So in general, that's one way you can explain it. But there are a couple of other MOBA style games, the multiplayer online battle arena games out there. One of my personal favorites is Hero of the Storm, which is the Blizzard equivalent.
Hot.
Yes. The only reason I like it is because it's a very team and objective based game. It's not about it's very little about individual accolades, not as much at least as League of Legends or as Dota. Clearly this is the talk of a poor player, but it's not so much about individual accolades. It's more about team coherency and about gathering objectives. And there's a bunch of different maps that you rotate and play, sort of different map pools that you can play in. Whereas Dota has always been the same map. Same with League of Legends has always been the same map. League of Legends map is modeled after the Dota map that you've been playing all the time. But yeah, I was surprised that Dota 2 is at the top and not League of Legends. Considering the popularity of League of Legends. But it definitely has fallen out of favor compared to some of the new, the Battle Royale style games. Yeah. It's definitely fallen out of favor, and which is why it's weird that Fortnite is not on it and PUBG is on it. But
yeah,
PUBG was insanely popular at one point. Insanely popular.
But then PUBG, I feel like Fortnite. I mean, the fact that we now call this genre Battle Royale is pretty indicative of who has, effectively become the definitive face of this genre.
Oh, definitely. I think PUBG was the one. Well, I mean, I feel like PUBG was the one that really shot this up there, but Fortnite has taken over the world by storm. Yeah. Mostly kids, but taking over the world by storm.
Well, I mean, Ninja is an adult, question mark. And
That's one person.
Yeah, he's done enough for himself, I think.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
There are some great games on this list, I think. I think Overwatch is well deserved. What else is there? Let's see. Rocket League, I think, is well deserved. Battle Red's a very cool MOBA style game where it's a 2-on-2 type of a game. Yeah. That's really cool. Battlefield 1 probably is one of the best ones, I guess, you would put on there.
Battlefield 1, I'm okay putting on. I understand why it's there. I understand why the series still has, venerance or is, revered.
Has legs.
Yeah.
Got legs. I'm happy to see, well, there's a few. I haven't played Duelist, but I know of Duelist, and it's great that Duelist is on, because there are a lot of other similar style, or at least card game type of games out there. Card-ish games. And so, Duelist is a really good one, so.
I have not tried it. I mean, I've tried, what was it? I think there was something that, is it called Shadowverse? There was something jokingly at one point called Anime Hearthstone, and I think it was...
Pretty much, that is Shadowverse.
And
Shadowverse,
there was
Anime Hearthstone.
There was another online trading card game that was being tooted on Kickstarter that came out, and I don't know what happened to it. Was it called Hex or something like that?
I have no clue. There's a whole bunch probably that were like that.
And it's sad to see some of them go.
I'm also happy to see Rainbow Six Siege. Very deserving. It's a very good game.
I've heard that has now basically become a very good game, which is really awesome.
Yeah. It has become it's more so there has been a lot of love from developers and from that group that has sort of kept updating and improving on that game, which has really made it really good. So
that's awesome. Hey, we got a new person watching the stream. Hey, Phil Photon.
Hey.
So Waltz just was saying, do we think StarCraft, or I think he's arguing that StarCraft 1 is better than StarCraft 2. I agree.
I'm gonna be honest, I really only played StarCraft 2.
What?
Phil, don't leave.
we need to get you to play
It's free. No, I will play it. It's free. I need to find time. It is StarCraft 1 is free on Blizzard to play. If you want the HD edition, you have to pay for it, but the regular edition is free to play.
We gotta get
I will eventually get to playing it.
We gotta get you to play Brood War. That's what we gotta get you to play.
Yeah, I know. I've heard so many good things. I just never got around to playing it. I think yeah. I love watching Starcraft. Starcraft is an amazing game to watch. Some people hate it. I love it.
Phil Photon is asking if we finished the game. No, not yet, Phil. We are on the 4th chapter for Tressa. We're just cleaning up. She's our last chapter 4, and then we might be doing a little bit of the post-game stuff. But tonight's just trying to finish Tressa's chapter. So, Arrow, where did we leave off? So we were just talking about StarCraft 2. We were going from the top down, I think, right?
Yes.
I mean, the rest of the games I'm happy with to see.
Do we want to fill in?
Yeah. So since Phil's on the now watching the stream, we were just talking about Rock Paper Shotgun's latest list of the top 25 multiplayer PC games. We were just kind of going over the list and talking about whether or not we agreed with all of the choices while we were kind of grinding through this dungeon here for Tressa's Chapter 4. I mean, not too many things contentious really for me at this point. I think we already talked about how we're shocked and well, not shocked. We're surprised that Dota 2 is on there, but not LOL. We're saying how like Mortal Kombat 10 and not Street Fighter, which is also on PC. Phil's saying he's exploiting the game, just killing the post-game bosses one skill. Yeah, you can easily break this game. I'm clearly
a fun way to play games sometimes. Like you're just looking for ways to break the game. It's very rewarding.
So we haven't really gone into it, but basically the way you can break this game is you can play every character can be has a base job, and you can kind of stack on a separate job on top. The neat thing is there are 4 hidden jobs. I'm actually using 3 of the 4 right now. I have all 4 of them. I just like this particular 3. And depending on particular character setups, you can do some really broken stuff, which is really fun. But I am not a great gamer, so we're just gonna watch me scrub through this with some overleveled characters.
And this is how we lose viewers.
This is how we lose viewers! This is how we don't demonstrate skill, we just demonstrate mediocrity.
We're just savages.
We're just here to talk. So I mean, we've wrapped up Handover. Let's move on to... Oh, Phil's just saying, I made a video if you want to see me break the game. There's a boss you don't know in the video. Sure. If you put a link in the chat, we'll definitely check it out once we wrap up the stream. I always love watching people break Octopath Traveler. I think it's really fun to see people's skill setups. So now that we've wrapped up the Handover, I was going to do a bit of morning report, because Arrow, I saw on Discord that you have recently started playing Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, yeah.
How is that going?
You.
How is that going? I'm actually really interested to hear what you think about the game.
A lot of dying, a lot of very sore thumbs, because I was trying to do the 800 dash.
Oh, the
that really did not work out.
The chain
pan out well.
The chain dash thing.
Chain dash. A lot of chain dashing. A lot of sore thumbs. A lot of little bit of frustration. Sort of like, why do I only have 5 lives? Why can't I get new costumes?
There are new costumes.
Cool stuff.
There are new costumes.
Yeah, I know. I was saying like I can't get to them.
Oh. So, where have you gone? Like what have you managed to like do so far in Hyper Light Drifter?
I've cleared the northern part and the western part, and that's it.
So the
I
big
haven't
bird.
collected everything from north and west, but I have cleared the north and the west bosses.
So north is the big bird who does like the AOE kind of the AOE attacks. I don't remember the boss on the west side.
Are we spoilering stuff or no?
Let's spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, the north side was the bird dude that sort of like explodes the ground.
Yeah,
like in squares. And then the west side one, which I don't know if we actually even finished, because I don't know when. I know you're playing Hyper Light Drifter on Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
But are we picking off from last time when we were traveling to the west?
We are not. I actually got addicted to playing that game when I was post-call, because it was an easy game to kind of not think about stuff.
Yeah.
And so I ended up beating all 4 bosses. The
and
stream.
You don't remember which one the which one is?
I actually don't, and the reason is because right now, so the stream on Thursday is gonna be me doing post game content before. So I'm actually at the final boss, but
then I might not watch it.
No, I'm not gonna do the final boss though. So I'm going through all 4 areas to find the hidden keys and stuff because I didn't use a walkthrough. So actually, if you're on that stream, you can help me out because you can tell me where I've not picked the stuff
I only use some of them. I don't use all of them. So the Western boss is the one that's basically like you. He swings the sword, he shoots a gun, type of a thing.
Oh yeah, it's like a Bloodborne hunter versus hunter battle. You're reminding me.
Yeah. Sort of.
Oh,
that one was definitely a little tough. That one, I had a lot of trouble with that boss. It's the one I fought first. I had no real upgrades at the time.
Yeah.
And it felt like every time I dashed, he would just track me. And he knew where I was dashing to. I was like, what's going on?
So the trick to that one is if you pick up the dash slash, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, I had nothing. So I was like timing things. Like I was like, oh, I gotta wait for the last second before I time stuff and move away. Man, tough.
Phil, links should work. If they don't work in chat, I'm really sorry. We kind of have been trying to get links to work, but the Twitch chat's a little bit sensitive. Otherwise, we'll tell you. We will kind of drop all our plugs at the end, and you can definitely drop us your link either on our Facebook page or Twitter or our YouTube video, and we'll definitely check it out because I always love seeing people set up on Octopath Traveler. Such a great game.
Yeah. And I mean, we're a small enough channel that we get banned, we'll just start a new one.
pretty honest.
It's okay, I'll open it for you.
I think links are okay because we'll just check it out on the Twitch chat archive.
Oh yeah, this is a legit video.
I keep getting these error messages about our Smashcast page, which is really funny. I'm not sure what's going on over there.
Oh.
So we just caught up to this. Oh, there you go.
Oh my god.
Are you watching?
It's
Phil's...
so absurd.
Are you watching Phil's video?
Yeah.
Is it cool?
It's just a lot of damage. It's also another language. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of damage.
Phil, I'll definitely check it out. It'd be awesome if you could.
If you want to. I don't know if you can. That's why.
I am really bad at running OBS right now. I wish we could, but Aero has pretty much verified that the video is basically Phil showing off his Octopath Traveler muscle flexing. Phil, if you could post your skill setup, we'd love to at least have it saved on the chat record so people can see what setup you're using, because I would love to see what strats you're using. Alright, let's see if I get wrecked in this boss battle, because ever since I've gotten through all the chapter 4s, I've been playing some of them pretty loosey-goosey. So Aero, you've never seen any... So you probably just saw the boss in Phil's video, but have you seen the sprite art there? For the bosses?
Oh, sorry, I muted my mic.
No worries.
I was saying that in the video that was linked, I just saw shadowy thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what it was.
It's probably the end boss.
I swear I will play this game at some point.
Octopath Traveler?
Yeah, it looks really good, and I really do want to play it. I just don't currently have it, but I will get around to playing it.
It is an amazing game. I love this game so much.
There's just so much stuff on my list.
I know, but you really actually have to play this game.
And you're streaming this. I can stream something different.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about streaming Tales at one point.
Oh yeah, some games in the Tales series. That's gonna be 100 sessions of disappointment.
That's okay. Look at Dragon Quest. We're still on. We're on part 11 and we're nowhere.
It's true.
I'll do my best.
Okay, let's break this girl for a sec and let's try to figure out some weaknesses here. So Aero, we never actually went over the battle system of this game because we were kind of talking a lot about the. We're doing handover, but basically the idea of this game is, have you ever played Bravely Default?
Yes, I have.
Perfect. It's basically like Bravely Default, slightly different. The idea is every monster has a break gauge, which is represented by the number of hits they take before they enter break status. Once they enter break status, they basically take a ton of damage whenever you do your special attacks. But the trick to the game is figuring out what their weaknesses are and then exploiting them one, to bring down the break gauge, and two, to be able to do like massive amounts of damage. So Phil just posted his abilities list. So he's using War Master support class, passive skills, BP Eater, the one that gives you more damage when you have less HP, 50 damage up. Last skill is your choice. Be on the lowest HP possible, break the enemies, and then War Master for BP Ultra. Yeah, that's a great setup. Alright, let's do some damage to this boss here. Boom!
I mean, you're still hitting the boss multiple times. You just hit it once. So, it's a good setup.
I don't doubt Phil's got a better setup. Ah, she just changed her weaknesses.
My turn now. Let your wounds be healed.
But yeah, it's a great game. The battles move really fast, and I personally like this game much, much more than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
You're never gonna get over that.
I am not, I confess.
I'm just saying, you're never gonna get over that. You're just gonna, every stream, somewhere in there, you're just gonna tell us how much you dislike Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I think Phil's trying to help us. He's saying stop. You need the skill. Yeah, I know. You need the skill to do more than 4/9's damage. I just haven't gotten around. I don't use it because I found, Phil, that in the main storyline game, like, once you reach this level, it's already so broken anyway that the challenge disappears if you just let everything die too quick. Phil should watch us play Dragon Quest XI, where pretty much I'm on autopilot the whole time.
I think Phil's just gonna shake his head and never come back.
I'll do my best.
All right, let's try to break this. So you can see, like, we're bringing that gauge down. I'm just trying to find. Three enemies. Phil's just saying 3 enemies remaining to 1 hit. Phil, do you mean like in general or for this boss in particular?
Well then.
I'm just trying to think what I want to do here. There's no buffs, unfortunately. Everyone's gonna hit max buff-ish. I guess we could BP boost Ulbrich and give him an ultimate. Post-game bosses. Oh, yeah. I can see that, Phil. I one-hit them all. Yeah, I don't doubt it. From what apparently Arrow saw in your videos, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah. We will probably, at some point, if we start doing post-game stuff, we will just get our butts handed to us.
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's okay. The struggle is the entertainment. We haven't really done that much damage to her yet. She's
Seriously?
yeah, so the thing is, whenever you... One sec. Always hit for critical damage. Whenever you actually do... their color of their name changes whenever you've dealt enough damage.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so we're not there yet. Ah, man. Okay, she's got more break gauge. And she's going after our DPS. So we'll just whittle down that gauge a bit and do some healing. So what do you think? Do you think you're gonna finish Hyperlight Drifter?
Oh yeah, I'll eventually get around to it. It's just like there's a lot of other stuff on my plate, and I don't always get home in time to play a bit of games before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky. But I will definitely try to squeeze in some of it as much as I can.
Well, you know what you gotta do now. You got to put down that Path of Exile.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Here goes nothing.
Well then, let your wounds be healed.
All right, let's try to see if we can't shut this boss down.
Right.
I let that buff go to waste.
The nitrous canal.
Ooh.
Boom, boom.
The battle is truly joy.
Okay, well, in that case, let's just end this.
You mean you could have done that the whole time?
I like to save the break gauge. I like to use it for big attacks, but in that case, we didn't have much time because it looks like Tressa had a 1 over her head, so I guess that means she would have died in 1 turn if we didn't quickly do it. I'm burning meter. To use my limited fighting game vernacular, I'm burning meter. For great justice!
Let's see what else is up.
Here we go.
So when we were talking about the top 25 multiplayer games,
Yeah.
why did you choose the multiplayer game one? Because I have a couple of lists there.
I know, I was looking at the multiplayer one because I was actually hoping to see if there's any games that we could pick up, and then you, Waltz, me,
I
and
see.
PW could do it.
I'm telling you, their definition of multiplayer is not the same as how we would define it.
Yeah, but like, what would we do as a group stream, do you think?
I don't know.
You see what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, maybe I should look at this list.
I'm telling you, Jackbox.
Well, Waltz was saying that we should play HOTS together.
Let's do this.
And I was like,
Who's streaming who? Like, who's...
I guess
Like, you can only
I...
stream one of the screens, right?
No, you can multi-stream. You can multi-stream. There's a... It's just like... It's basically the same principle as how we multi-stream to all these different services. There's actually also a multi-stream service that lets... it combines all your screens, but on the stream, it looks like one screen.
Bring it on.
Okay. You're like blowing my mind right now.
Yeah. I saw it on an Easy Allies stream thingy.
Well, we just have to cross that bridge when it comes.
When it comes, we should go old school and play some Left 4 Dead.
Heck is this?
It's unbending.
What do I want to do? I want to turn. Yeah, she's almost gone, boys.
It's about time.
About time. Let's summon this elderly woman for fun.
What to do?
We're so close. We're so close. Ooh, oh, jeez.
Oh, what?
Let's do this.
She just took out our healer.
What is this terrible play?
What is this terrible play? How could I let her die?
Shall be wrong.
Exactly.
Subpar.
Yes.
I'm gonna concoct some healing items. Boom! Everyone's back to max life. Well, kind of, except one. That's close enough.
It's close enough.
Yeah, hit or miss. Okay, we're good. We should be able to stop this with this turn.
Here we go.
Because we're gonna do some Ventus Saltaire.
I will not be defeated.
Not much more we can do for damage at this point. I just gotta see if this next turn's gonna do it. Yep, that's it. That's a wrap.
Path That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right. That's right, Alfin. Got a rune knife.
Phil.
Reading it. I don't know if you should be sad, Phil. I think it's to be rewarded that you're destroying the fun of the post game, I guess, but part of the game's fun is to discover these ways of breaking the game.
You can always try to find new ways to break the game.
Yeah, it's true. Tressa taking back what's rightfully hers.
Phew. Ugh.
It's just an old diary.
You see,
You're seeing the budget constraints of this game now.
sheer willpower alone.
can't voice act everything.
I hoped I'd find something to help make my dreams come true. Something precious I'd treasure forever.
Friendship.
Okay, you gotta stop ruining the moment.
That's the post call. That's the post call quality.
Tressa.
Yes.
Oh, they don't tell us who that guy is. They just randomly arrest him and take him away. Oh, he's a wanted criminal. I guess they do explain.
By the way,
Yeah.
So I guess the interesting thing to point out if you're gonna pick this game up, Bayro, is that this is pretty much the structure for all the chapters. Like, go to do some story, go to dungeon, beat boss up, rinse and repeat.
I like that. That's good. Repetitive is not always bad.
It's predictable. It's predictable.
Yeah, that's good.
The one who mates this doll will meet their soulmate.
whoa. Now then. Spectacular.
It's really interesting that they're all like trying to sell the stuff to. It's not really like they're trying to get the hand of the daughter. It's just more like they just. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Man, I realize how spoiled I am with all these games. Because I'm just like, man, I wish there was some voice acting in this right now.
Right?
Well,
Phil, supporting classes I'm using. Alfin is my main. He's level 70. He pretty much has mastered most of the jobs at this point. My favorite with him is War Master, but I will tack him on Sorcerer. I don't have a main party of 4. All of my characters are equally leveled in the 50s, with Alfin being in the 70s. My favorite mix is Sorcerer, Rune Knight. I want to say Rune Knight. I'm not a big fan of Starseer, but I do use it. And usually my 4th anchor is Ophelia with either Starseer or one of the other jobs. But honestly, I just kind of mix and match. I don't have the only time I have a strategy is putting Tressa on the Rune Knight class and then give her the spell that lets her transfer a skill or cast a spell that only works on herself to everybody else, and then do the dodge physical.
Now then.
I do. I was actually just using it in that last boss battle with Olbrick, but I like to use him most with the War Master most with Alfin. Okay, just keeping mindful of the time. Arrow, do you realize we went overtime on the stream?
I did. I didn't want to say anything. We had a great time.
We're going over on the stream. Okay, I gotta save. we gotta wrap this up. Where's the save point? Do you ever use the super? I have. It's really fun. I actually used the super attack from the War Master to defeat the Rune Knight, which is really cool to see. Where's the save point? I think it's here. Yes, it's there. Okay, we've unfortunately gone over time on the stream. That is going to be it for tonight. We're going to end at a cliffhanger right as we're about to present Tressa's gift to the Merchant Council, but hopefully that'll give us something to quickly see the next time we tune in. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Phil, for chiming in and showing us your strats. It's really nice to hang out with you tonight on the stream. To everybody, pardon?
Super cool.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing your strats too. If you're catching us on the YouTube archive and you liked what you saw, please like this video and subscribe to see some of our latest streams and videos. You can also hit the notification bell on the YouTube channel to join our notification squad and find out all about our latest videos as they get released. If you want to get in touch with us, you can always reach us at facebook.com/postcallgaming or twitter.com/postcallgaming. Arrow, where can our audience follow you if they want to see some more of your stuff?
Same thing as every stream. I don't have my own place, so you can just find me right here at Post Call Gaming.
Nice. All right, Phil, thanks for joining us tonight. Waltz, thanks also for hanging out in the chat. It was nice to speak with you guys tonight. We're going to call it a night for now. Arrow, I don't have it pulled up. What were we going to do tomorrow? I think Thursday was Hyperlight Drifter. I don't recall what we said.
Thursday is Hyperlight Drifter for sure. I don't have what tomorrow is pulled up either.
Yeah, there is now going to be a Google Calendar link in all of our YouTube channel stuff, so if you ever want to follow and see what streams we're doing next, it'll be on there. Fortunately, I don't even have it pulled up myself, so but typically we are on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every day of the week, except Fridays. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow as well. It was a huge blast. Thank you again, Arrow, for joining the stream.
No problem.
All right, and we are going to see you guys next time.